Welcome to the MS Gym podcast, where we give you the tools to live life by design, not by diagnosis. I'm your host, Brooke Slick, and here we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new season of the MS Gym podcast. Today's episode is a super special one because I get to reintroduce and/or introduce the MS Gym to the masses. You know, the MS Gym has been around for almost 6 years and has thousands of followers. But there are upwards of 3 million people worldwide who have MS. So there's always someone newly diagnosed out there or just discovering us who may want to know more about exactly who we are. Who's the founder? Where is it located? What's it all about? How can they benefit from it? And what's it cost? Our audience is going to get all of that information and more in today's episode, as I had the unique opportunity to have an in-depth conversation with the creator and founder of the MS Gym, Coach Trevor Wicken. Let's go. Coach Trevor, thank you so much for coming on to the MS Gym podcast.
I'm happy to be here.
You know, I think that every once in a while, you need to reintroduce who you are, what we are, what the MS Gym is. You know, because we've been out there for almost 5 years now.
6.
Almost 6. Oh, my God. And that's the thing, you know, depending on what they're looking at on social media, what platforms they're on, they might see it here and there, and they might think, what is that? I know when I think, if I were to hear the MS Gym, in my mind, I would have this picture of like a franchise, the MS Gym, and you go there, it's a brick and mortar, and you work out, you do these, but that's not what it is. And the reason that I have you on today is for you to tell us exactly what the MS Gym is. Is it a brick and mortar? Is it a franchise? Should people be looking for it in their neighborhood? What is the MS Gym, Coach Trevor?
No to all of the above. The MS Gym is currently the largest online platform, the online medical fitness platform for movement, mindset, and education for people with MS and with other neurologic conditions. So we design programs, structured exercise programs, movement skill programs for people to use on the daily basis that are neurologically based, brain based, and that are designed to activate the areas of the brain that need to be activated in a specific way to improve your strength, your conditioning, your energy, your balance, your mobility. But we also really pride ourselves on improving your mindset, because mindset is key. I want to educate you because like knowledge is power, and applied information and applied knowledge turns into wisdom, and it turns into results. And my overall global vision for the MS Gym and this community is to equip and empower people to build healing lifestyles that fit into their life and that build around their life. So our slogan is live a life by design and not by diagnosis. So this isn't just about exercise and you show up and I'm just slinging exercise programs. This is a lifestyle transformation program. This is a lifestyle transformation community, and we are involved in more than that. You finish 4 programs and you feel good. I want you to feel good now and 20 years from now, living the highest quality life you possibly can.
Fantastic. Now, when you talk about these movement programs, tell me about neuroplasticity, because neuroplasticity is the base of a lot of what you do, correct? And it's kind of all-encompassing. Neuroplasticity isn't just one thing. It's multiple things. And I think that's kind of the core of what you're about. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay.
You're correct. You're correct. So neuroplasticity, so everything stems from our central nervous system, which is your brain and your spinal cord. From your spinal cord, nerves branch off and make your peripheral nerves, which makes your limbs work. But your brain and your spinal cord are necessary for everything in your body to function. If your central nervous system dies, you die. And so with neuroplasticity, this started off in the behavioral modification field and like behavioral medicine. And also people with disabilities, where they were finding that people that were blind all of a sudden could see, quote unquote, when stimulation was put on their tongue or when they were doing Braille or things like that. So they could actually see using other sources, and they could actually get a picture in their mind with other parts of the brain kicking in that were not the eyes. And so what that led to is, this is way back, like late 1800s, 1900s, whatever, for people to come out and say the brain is changeable. The brain is plastic. And then it got into a realm where everyone's like, no, it's not. Neurologists were like, no, the brain changes. It's stuck. It's never going to get better. You have what you have. And that is absolutely not true. Your brain has a quadrillion, like literally 10 to the fourth power of neurologic networks, all connected. And it has contingency plans so that if one road between your brain and a certain body part gets blown out or destroyed by something like MS with demyelination, you have 3, 4, 5, 10 other pathways that your brain can access to get to that same body part. So it's not creating new neurology. Like, I've heard people online talk about neuroplasticity as creating new neural pathways. That is a false statement. You're accessing neurologic pathways that are already there, creating a new way of doing things in a new movement language that allows your body to work around those damaged nerves so that you can restore function. So that's neuroplasticity in a nutshell. But neuroplasticity happens with your thoughts, with your words, with your behavior, with your relationships, with your food, with your sleep, with your stress. And it all comes around driven by movement. So it's not just, neuroplasticity is not an exercise-based phenomenon. It is a human being neurologic-based phenomenon. So we're building better humans and more functional humans, not just getting people to be good at exercise programs.
Like, I can honestly say that is the best description of neuroplasticity that I've ever heard. Nice. Because you include the total body explanation. Yeah. Not just the rerouting of nerves. It's a way bigger picture than that. And all of that is included in the MS Gym method.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I love it. Now, you said it's completely online. Okay. Tell me why whoever is watching this right now should trust you, Trevor Wicken. Tell me what your credentials are, because, and I'll tell you why I'm setting this up, because I'm out in all the MS sphere all the time, on all the platforms, in all the groups. And this does not apply just to you, but there are people who question why you or anybody else who's doing anything even similar to what you do, oh, they don't have MS, so they don't get it. They don't understand. And I think to myself, well, I have trigeminal neuralgia, but I'll bet you the neurosurgeon that I see, he's never had a but he's studied exactly how to fix it. But what do you say to tell us why, this is why you should listen to what I'm saying. Tell me your qualifications without, sounding like a resume.
Yeah, no, I got you. So let me, I'm just going to go here. Usually I'm pretty chill, but I'm going to get raw right now. That is the most ignorant, incomplete statement when somebody says, well, in order to understand how to help people with MS, you have to have it. If you want to go to a cardiologist, that is, if you're going to think along those lines, then that's saying that a good qualified cardiologist has to have a heart attack every year so that they understand how to come back from a heart attack. If you're going to an oncologist, they have to constantly have cancer in order to understand how to cure cancer. If you're going to a marriage counselor, they have had to have been married 17 times in order to understand and give advice on how to break a marriage and build it back up. That is the most ignorant statement I've ever heard. And people who say that, I don't even know how you can look yourself in the mirror and think, I'm a professional saying that. That's dumb. You nailed it, Brooke. Your neurologist studied neurology for like 20 years so that he could understand neurology, because he had a passion to work with people that have neurologic conditions, and he wants to improve the quality of your life. Now, that's me as well. I have studied this for 23 years. I have an undergrad degree in sports medicine. I have a graduate degree in biomechanical analysis. I have PhD level education in neuroscience. And I have chronic neurologic Lyme. I've had it for 13 years. 10 years ago, I got diagnosed. I've had 4 major relapses in my life, 3 of which I lost the use of my feet. I lost the use of my hands. I lost the use of my bladder. I lost the use of my eyes. And I basically went into complete depression and anxiety so badly over my condition that I wanted to die. 3 months after I was at that point, and I had a massive revelation in my spiritual life, my self-identity, and everything, the vision for the MS Gym came about. Why? Because I had spent the last 5 years building my body back up, using the power of movement and nutrition and supplementation and mindset training and stress reduction and improving my sleep. And I had to get it out to the world. That's where the MS Gym came from. So number one, I understand people because I live it every day. I am on low dose naltrexone. I have Lyme disease in my body that they basically have told me I should have been in a wheelchair. At least 4 different doctors have said that to me. I have brain lesions on my brainstem. My vagus nerve is affected. My hypoglossal nerve is affected. My cerebellum is affected. My frontal lobe is affected. So I've done the research and I've built programs around that neurology to help me restore my function, my mobility, my mental health, and my relationships, because all of them almost died because of this stupid medical condition. So yeah, so I have the practical experience and I have the professional experience. Furthermore, I've been working with people with neurologic conditions since I was 20 years old. And as you can tell by this gray wisdom here, I am 45. So you do the math, 22 years or whatever that is, 20 plus years of working with people with neurology. I've seen Parkinson's, I've seen ALS, I've seen amputees, I've seen total brain injuries, I've seen paralytics, I've seen MS, I've seen SCA6, I've seen full body mitosis. I've seen it, right? And a lot of people can say that, and I'm on my box right now. Like, I've seen it. I've worked with it. And everything that I do and the way that we do things, yes, there may be some specifics based on whether you have Lyme or you have MS, a little bit, maybe 10% different. But 90% of the way that we train people in the MS Gym is brain-based. And if you get your brain working better, then your hormones balance, your physiology balance, your cardiopulmonary balances, your digestive balances, your cognitive health balances. And when your body is more balanced, you have more room and availability, neurologic reserve to heal. And that's when people start to get better. You have to balance the nervous system first. You can't just go in and spot fix symptoms, because you will never get better, because this is an integrated game.
You know,
I got fired up. I'm sorry.
I am loving this, like loving it, because I think that there are people who are going to listen to this who've actually been members for a long time who don't even know all of that information about you. So when I say it's always important to reintroduce yourself, thank you very much for doing that in a very clear and concise way.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, this is my passion and this is my life. And I was put on this planet and I was created to help people heal and get their lives back, because it's not okay with me that people are told this is all we can do for you. This is a progressive condition. You're going to end up in assisted living. All of your dreams and hopes and desires are like now gone. So readjust, get your affairs in order, because things are about to get bad. Like, pardon my mouth, but screw that. Like, that is a BS answer from someone who is just negligent, ignorant, and unempathetic towards someone whose life is on the line. And that's what we fight for every day in the MS Gym, is people's lives, not just me glorifying myself that all of a sudden these exercise programs work for people. They only work if people do them. Right? I'm not so great. I'm one dude. There's thousands of MS Gymmers that, if they don't find success in the programs, I am a failure. And I'm fully humble in saying that. I am not so great that my programs, if it doesn't work for you, it's your fault. That's crap. Yeah. Right? So go ahead.
No. I'm going to get right into the nitty gritty of the actual programs. But first, I think it's important that whoever's listening knows about all of the free information that you have out there, like on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook. Free. It's where we all started. I mean, it's where I started years ago, before you had the paid for program. And I want you to first tell us about what's available online. And then I want you to tell me what's included in the paid program that you won't find in the free stuff.
Sure.
And I also want you to elaborate, because you said, you can't just fix it here and there. Basically, you can't Band-Aid things with, just doing one exercise here. It has to be a plan, that you have to commit to, which is part of the paid program. And I want you to differentiate between the two. I want to know what you're getting in the paid that you might not get in the free.
Sure. So number one, like I wholeheartedly am passionate about providing people with free resources. Like my deal is like, you shouldn't have to pay to play and you shouldn't have to pay to heal. And I, from day one of me walking onto the training floor at 18 years old, I was like, I'm here to meet people where they're at. You don't need to fit into my protocols. You don't need to fit into my programming. You're not here for me. Like I am here for you. And what's unfortunate is so many people don't have free resources that are available that are structured, that are organized, that are thought through, that are intentional, and honestly, that are effective. So there's a lot of guidelines out there about exercise, and there's a lot of people saying, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. Like, that's fine. Like, I don't hate on you. Like, I get it. I'm a business owner too. But my job is to provide free resources for people so that they can start to experience what true movement is, so that they can explore around, so that they can move their body, and so that they can see that they can actually do this. Because so many people with MS have been sold a bag of goods and like, oh, this is the way, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And it never works because it's the wrong type of exercise. So I have an ethical responsibility to provide a ton of free resources for people to just come and see, just come and try, and come and just check this out and play around and figure out what works for you. So we have free stuff on YouTube, we have free stuff on Instagram, and there's free stuff on X or on Twitter. And we also have free programming that you can actually sign up for. I think right now, like, I think on YouTube, I have, I don't know, close to 1,000 videos. On Instagram, I have coming up on like 2,000 something posts, I think. These might be a little higher, but there's thousands and thousands of free content out there from the MS Gym. And what I hope is that people try things out and they watch my Instagram stuff and they watch YouTube and they try these things and they pay attention to how I cue and how I coach, and they try to put that stuff together for whatever works for them. There will come a point, if people get super involved in the MS Gym, that they're like, I want more. I need more structure. This is all well and good, but all this stuff is good. And there's like 200 exercises that I use. So how do I put these together in a program where I don't have to think through it every day? I don't have to sit there on a piece of paper and write it down. I just want you to tell me what to do, man. And that's why we have our paid for programs. We have one-time programs that will work on specific symptoms. We have a $15 program, which is it's called Symptom Solutions, which is symptom specific, where you literally go in, you type in your symptoms, and you'll see like 15 to 20 videos pop up specifically to your symptoms. And I'm talking as specific as, I have foot drop with ankle eversion and toe flexion spasticity. You type those 3 words in, you will get the recipe for you. I have weak hip flexors, poor balance, and optic neuritis. You will get the prescription for you. That's how cool that program is. Then we have the paid for program, which is a monthly program where it is complete programs, which are between 25 and 35 minutes. We are doing neurologic-based exercises. We're doing integrated-based exercises. We're doing corrective exercise. We're doing isolated strength training. We're doing compound strength training. We're doing balance training, stability training, and endurance or cardio. Those are all the complete packaged programs. Now, with those programs in the membership, you also have access to the members only corner, which is our Facebook group, where you're with like thousands of other gymmers that are going through the same program with you.
Right.
You can post questions in there. You get answers from our moderator team who are MS gymmers, who have MS. For those of you that think that that's a qualification, but they have MS. They've gone through the program. They've had victories. They've had failures. They've learned from me, and they're the ones helping. We also have an amazing group of community members that are so willing and ready to answer your questions and have empathy with you and compassion for you and be like, I struggle with that too. You sound like me. Here's what I did, and now here's where I am. So what did I see? What did I do? And then what happened? And here's where I'm at. There's like thousands of people, and it's one of the most loving, engaging communities I've ever seen in my entire life, ever. It's a miracle.
I'm part of that group. And I think something that's really cool because they're all part of the paid for program and they all have access to the movement plans that you have, somebody might go on and say, I'm having trouble with my foot drop, or I'm, my hip flexor or whatever, and I tried the XYZ, it's not working for me. Should I be doing something this way? Anybody have any advice? And boom, 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 all these other people. And sometimes I look at these answers and they are so they are so spot on. Like, I'm like, wow, it's like instructions straight from you, or straight from the plan. So I think the MOC, the members group, is just as valuable. The community is just as valuable as the exercises.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're students of the game, man. Like, that's what I want. I don't want a bunch of just minion followers that just do my exercise programs and they're fine. Like, I want students of the game. I want you to learn your brain, learn your body, understand the concepts and why you're doing what you're doing. Because that's powerful. That's like equipping. That's like empowering. You have ownership over it. And when you understand why you're doing something, there's a value placed to it. And you will increase compliance at least tenfold. So that's why you see people that are so educated in there, because they study, they participate, they apply, and then they go back and they encourage someone else who was there. So you see one, do one, teach one. That's my concept. That's how I've always been my whole life. See it, do it, teach it. See it, do it, teach it all the time. Because when you teach, that's when it gets solidified in your head. So we have a bunch of student athletes in this game and inside the MOC, which is cool. And then I get to come in on a monthly basis and oftentimes more and post up trainings. Like, I do coaching corner trainings. I do mindset trainings. I'm going to start doing more neurologic education trainings inside the MOC. And we also have an office hours program where 2 days a week, you can write in and ask me and one of my head moderators, Karen, what's going on with you? And we will give you a very thought out, concise answer. And that's all part of the program, which is really awesome. So you have the coaching, you have the structure, you have the community, and you have the resources in order to really build this healing lifestyle that I'm talking about.
So somebody signs up for the MS Gym. Does this mean that they no longer have to do, or they're not allowed to, or they shouldn't do their yoga, their Pilates, their weightlifting? Is this in place of exercise, traditional exercise, or a supplement to it? Or I'm sure people have asked you that before.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of up to the person. All right. So if you're someone who does not exercise or hasn't exercised in a while, or who is very new to exercise, I would probably recommend that the MS Gym be your only program, because it's done for you. It literally takes that energy that you need to program and figure out how to exercise each day and just does it for you. Right. But if you're someone who has a great personal trainer, a great fitness professional, a great physical therapist, or body pump class, or Pilates, or yoga, like, integrate it into your world. Like, we have a lot of people that will do the MS Gym like 3 days a week, and then they'll do yoga 3 days a week, or Pilates, or they're with their trainer. The thing is that it is all virtually impossible, unless you have unlimited financial resources, to go see a physical therapist or a personal trainer 5 times a week. Yeah. Right. It's because a good personal trainer should run you between about $100 and $150 a session at this point. Right. An elite trainer, an expert trainer, would probably be between $250, like between $200 and $250 a session. So they're only expecting you to come in once or maybe twice a week. What are you doing in the other days? Because movement and retraining and relearning is a 24/7 type of commitment. Doesn't mean you have to be working out all hours of the day, but you need to be feeding your brain movement every day, because that is your medicine. That is your medication, just like a DMT, or just like food. If you feed your brain with movement, you have to do it. And exercise isn't so simple that you can't screw it up.
Right.
Okay. So what I would say is that if you're a novice, or you're just starting or whatever, probably just do the MS Gym 5, 6, 7 days a week. Okay. Depending on your energy levels. If you're someone who already has kind of a program and there's something that you love and that makes you feel good, I will never take you away from that. Right. Like, I do full body strength training 3 days a week, and I swim 3 days a week, and I do like a CrossFit-y type workout 1 day a week. Right. But I'm doing MS Gym stuff that you guys are going to be doing. I use my stuff. Otherwise I'd be a hypocrite. So I use it for my movement prep and also for my movement snacking throughout the day to keep my brain improving. But I am doing strength and conditioning work. I am doing athletic work. I am doing competitive swim training work. All of that is not in the MS Gym yet, but that is what I am working on. So you can make this program and design it and fit it into your life however you want.
Okay, cool. So let's say this is the very first time that somebody's heard about the MS Gym.
Yeah.
Where would you say they start?
It depends on what you want to do, right? If you want to dabble in free stuff, I would say probably go to YouTube. Like if you really are like, I need exercises to follow. Because Instagram, I give exercises, but they're on reels because that's what the algorithm likes. They're like 30 seconds long.
Right.
Okay, so I show the exercise, you see what I'm doing, but there's not a lot of extra education and coaching. If that's your jam, cool. Show me what to do, dude. I don't really want to hear you talk. I just want the exercises. Awesome. Here you go. Drive through a meal. If you want a little bit more, then if you go to YouTube, that's where I get into a lot more education. I talk about neurology and anatomy and why we're doing what we're doing. And there's a lot more coaching and technique and troubleshooting advice on doing these exercises. And well, if this doesn't work, what do I do? You do this, and I will show a modification. So that's on socials. If you want free programming, you can go to our website, which is just themsgym.com. Click on free resources. There's a link tree that will pull up, and that's all of our free stuff. We have complete programs. When I say complete, it's like we'll have circuits or we'll have a 5-day program or something like that will lead you through things like foot drop or balance for like, it's called mini balance camp, things like that. Mini balance camp and foot drop foundations are two of our most popular programs. They're free and people are getting insano results on there. So if you want free, that's where I'd start. If you want to look at symptom specific things, I would go to our website and just check out the one-time products. So you're going to go to programs and you'll see individual products. And those are like one time, you pay one fee and you're done. And that's it. I have a program in there for people that are a mobility level of 1 or 2. They're lying in a bed. They don't feel good. They can't even hardly get up out of a chair. I have a program that is for our chair warriors that do a lot of stuff seated. It's called MS30 chair. Okay. I have a program called MS30 standing, which is a transitionary program for people that are exercising using assistive devices. And then I also have a program in there called NXT, which is for the highest mobility people like your 8s, 9s, and 10s that we get into neurologic performance training. We strength train, we resistance train, there's conditioning, there's balance stuff. It's for the higher level people, right? So those are the one-time products. And then you scale up even more. If you want a monthly program that's low cost, Symptom Solutions is like $15 a month. And that's that library program where you go in, you type in your stuff, and you get a list of videos that include exercises that will address your symptoms. And then the last step would be the full-blown membership, if you will. Right. The comprehensive membership.
The full-blown membership, as of today, the full-blown membership, if I decide I want a whole, like today, I said, I want the full-blown and I want a year's worth. Mm-hmm. What would it cost me per month?
So for the annual plan, so we have 3 different types of plans right now. We have month-to-month, we have a semi-annual, and we have an annual. Now that may change in the future, but that's what we have right now. Typically, like if people just want to go month-to-month, it's $79 a month for all of that stuff. The programming, the coaching, the individualized attention, and the community. But what most people do is they're like, dude, I want to commit to this. I'm all in. Let's go. So they will actually do a semi-annual. So every 6 months they would pay, or an annual, which is every 12 months they would pay. Now, if you do the 6-month plan, that price per month comes down to $60. If you do the 12-month plan, it comes down to $47 a month US, right? But what I want to do for you guys is that because you're listening to this podcast, we want to do a podcast promotion for y'all. So we're going to give you a pretty big discount if you're interested. And I'm going to have Brooke post that link in the text below the podcast so that you can click on it and check it out and see if it's for you or not. But that's typically what most people pay.
That's awesome. Just one last thing. When you talk about the full-blown program, is it self-paced?
Yes.
Like the different programs within the paid for programs, the chair program, the standing program, is it all self-paced?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I want to meet people where they're at, and there's no rush to finish any of this. So like we have no program out there where you hit go and then you only have like 8 weeks and then you get it taken away. Like these are
Right.
so if you buy one of the one-time products, it's for life, right? You have that one product, you bought it, you paid for it, you walk out of the store, you're good. The membership, you're obviously in the membership unless you decide not to be in the membership, and then you don't have access anymore, so you're paying for access. But with the pacing of the program, you will get your own login portal, you will get your own sign-in portal. There's an app that comes with the membership as well, so that you basically go to your app, you go to the program you're on, and what's cool about the software is that it will track where you are. So you can check off when you've hit day 1, day 13, day 31, so you'll know where you are. But with MS, we know that things are very unpredictable. You may get sick, you may have an infusion, you may have stress, you may have a relapse, you may have a flare-up, you may go on vacation, you may be feeling awesome, and you're like, I don't get to for 2 weeks, and then you're coming back. What's cool is that you can always go forward and back in any of the programs at any time, and they're always available to you. So it's completely self-paced. This is your movement training resource hub and your gym. It's not just a bunch of programs that you're like, these are just sitting on the shelf collecting dust.
Yes, one thing I think you're fantastic with is never settling for less and constantly improving the programs within the whole paid for program. You're updating all the time. I mean, you're revamping all the time. And just when you think, how could this get any better? You level up.
Yeah.
And that's still, the price doesn't go up because of that. You're just constantly, this is not a static program. It is constantly evolving. I think that's awesome. It's not like you pay for it and that's, a year from now, it's identical to what it was a year. All the core stuff is there, but you're constantly up leveling, constantly.
Yeah.
And like the value is incredible. Just, I applaud you for doing that.
Yeah, I mean, you guys deserve the best. You deserve the best, and you deserve like cutting edge stuff. I mean, and there is some tried and true programming and methodology that I know works, that has worked for me for over 20 years. Like it just works because the human body is the human body, an elbow is an elbow. There's only so many ways you can program an elbow or a shoulder to actually move, but how you put them together and how you program it and how you add variety into it with like neurologic training and all that, that's what's always evolving. Plus, I'm always training you guys. Like I said, I am a born educator. It's my passion. Even if the program, you do the same program 3 times, but you get educated along the way, each time you do it, you're going to notice things different. You're going to feel things different, and you're going to be able to perform better because your brain is learning as you do this. Because like I've been doing deadlifts since I was 15 years old. I'm 45 years old and I'm still deadlifting, but my technique's gotten better. My neurology's gotten better. I'm in less pain because my body works better. And at 45 years old, I'm doing 400 pounds like 15 times, right? Where, mind you, 13 years ago, I could not lift my 2-year-old daughter off the ground because I was so sick, right? So even though these basic skills are integrated into our programs, you get the opportunity to watch your brain get better and learn better and become more fluent in the MS Gym language so that you constantly get improvements in strength and endurance and energy and mobility and in balance.
Well, Coach Trev, I could not have asked for a better chat with you.
Right.
I think in particular, if you've never heard, if you've ever wondered exactly what the MS Gym is, I think now you know.
Mm-hmm. There
now
we go.
You know.
I'm kind of laid it all out.
Well, I guess the only question I could ask is what the MS Gym isn't.
What isn't it? It is not your, well, number one, it's not a commiseration community. We don't believe in that. I am absolutely 100% against victim mindsets. We are victors. We are not victims. Okay. Secondly, this isn't a set it and forget it community for me. Like I am invested in you. I invest in you with my craft, with my mindset, with my life. and with my education. Like you guys, I'm partnering with you. You will hear things. I'll pop on a video and tell you when I'm having a bad day. I'll pop on a video and tell you that I got a crappy diagnosis, which has happened in the past 6 months. I found out I have new lesions on my brainstem. Screw it. I'm just going to beat them anyway. Right. So I'm not a commiseration person. And as far as like just what it is not the end all be all of your world. Exercise and movement is what the driving forces for the brain, because movement, breathing, and eating are what activate the brain. But if you're not improving your mindset, your relationships, your self-image, your self-mercy, basically how you relate to yourself and others, and really your attitude about all this, like you won't succeed. Like I can make the best programs in the world, but if you step in here and you don't believe and you don't have hope and you really don't want to get better and you're constantly looking to prove me wrong, you will find a flaw because I'm a human and I'm flawed. Who cares? Right? But you will not get better unless you want to get better. And that's what we drive on. Like hope is our currency inside the MS Gym. And so is belief. And that's what we feed on. And that's what we thrive on. And that's why we have like 2,000 testimonials over 7 years or over 6 years. Ask me a fun question. What fun question do you have for me?
I don't have any fun questions. I
come up with one. What have you always wanted to know about me, but we're afraid to ask? I just like to put hosts on the spot. It makes me laugh. All right, let me ask you, what's your favorite food?
Oh, like chicken.
Chicken? What kind of chicken?
Chicken marsala.
Okay, there you go. See, mine is burrito tacos. That's like my ultimate food I would eat the rest of my life.
I always think to myself, if I were going to be stuck on an island, like what are 3 things that I would want,
There, that's a fun question. What would you do? What would you want?
I would want chicken marsala. I would want some kind of chocolate. It doesn't have to be a lot. And white plush nectarines.
Ooh, that's good. That's pretty complete.
But you.
Yeah, I'd want my any kind of like burrito or like street tacos. And then I would want, what would I want? Pumpkin spice waffles. And yeah, that's my jam. And what else? And honestly, blueberries. They're like my favorite fruit on the planet.
Really?
I have them every day.
Really?
Yeah, they're one of my power foods based on my blood test. And it's like when I eat them, I'm like, whoa, let's go.
It's all those antioxidants.
Right? Yeah, protein, antioxidants, and pumpkin spice waffles. I'm set.
For the win.
For the win, baby.
All right. Well, Coach Trevor, I cannot thank you enough for coming on.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
I learned things that I didn't even know after being part of this for the last almost 6 years. Mm-hmm. So I'm anxious for everybody out there who doesn't know. Now they know.
Now they know. You know if you know.
Right.
All right. Well, thanks, Brooke. It's been an awesome experience, and I will be on here more in the future.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye.
For more information on the MS Gym, you can find them on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and at www.themsgym.com. We'll see you on the next episode.